Hi, my name is Joe Fishman. I'm with the Merion Cub Scout Pack 71, and I am the committee chair and pack coordinator, which I have been doing for the last 3 or 4 years. I have my son Zev is also in the Cub Scouts. And this is a film about the Cub Scouts, baseball, and the Merion Scout Fair, which happens every year in May. So one day while I was in the Scout House, in the Scout Master's room, I found this tape. I didn't know what it was. I opened it up, and it was either 8 or 16 millimeter film. And it just so happened that one of the Boy Scouts had organized the equipment room and found a projector. We didn't really know if it worked or not. So at the next den meeting that my son was at, I happened to mention this to some of the parents that were there. And one of the dads was a commercial television producer. And he said, well, let me take a look at it, because I know a thing or two about old film and projectors. I guess he was a video geek back in the high school days. And we went upstairs. He took a look at it. Next thing you know, 15 minutes later, we had this film running. And one of the scenes is these boys playing baseball and at some field that we didn't really recognize. And next thing we know, it was it dissolved into the Scout Fair from many years ago, but no one really knew when or what year it was. So after a few weeks went by, I had mentioned something about this tape I found to Irene, and I just wanted to get the film onto a DVD so that I could show it to other people. And she gave me a few places. I finally found somebody to turn it into a DVD. And she also mentioned to put it into she wanted me to put it into I talked to Irene about getting it into a DVD, and she also asked me to see if I could get it put into a mini DV tape so that it could be put on Channel 99. I said that would be a great idea, and let me see what I can do. So after I finally got this person to make up he made a couple DVDs and the tape, and I gave it to Irene, and so Irene asked me to put this into a DV tape so that it can be put on to Channel 99. And I thought that would be a great idea. Once the tape got made, I brought it over to Irene and we looked at it. And she had told me that she recognized some of the buildings in the background. And we're not sure, but we think that might be at Merion Elementary. So if anyone knows these any of the houses or recognize what date this could be, if it's might be 1950s or early 1960s, we're really not sure. To let me know. So I had also showed the film to a few of the adult leaders of the Boy Scouts, and one of them told me that when he was a Cub Scout in the late 70s, that the Scouts would have inter-Scout pack and troop baseball games. And they would there were so many packs in the area that they were able to form their own league and played baseball I assume on the weekends at the elementary schools. And this is the very beginning of the tape that you'll see the boys playing. It took me a while to figure this out and get this information, so it was a mystery as to why there was baseball on a tape about the Scouts. We just thought it was a parent happened to film his own boys playing baseball. My involvement in the Scouts has been for the last 7, maybe even 10 years. My oldest son, who's 13 now, is a Boy Scout and started out as a Cub Scout. And when I also have 2 other boys, one is about to cross over into Boy Scouts, and I have a third son who in about a year and a half will be starting Cub Scouts. He's my Cub Scout in training. And the boys love going camping and going on trips with the Scouts and learning all kinds of new things, especially building fires and learning how to build fires and doing it safely. And they do a lot of canoeing and hiking in the area, and they travel out to the Poconos and out to the shore and up to upstate New York and for all kinds of trips. So we have our own Scout House, which is located in Merion, behind the Merion Tribute House at 625 Hazelhurst Avenue. And the house was donated to the Scouts back in 1917 when the Scouts had, during World War I, had sold bonds, Liberty bonds, and also there were Scouts who had died in World War I, and in doing so, our Scout House is located behind the Merion War Tribute House at 625 Hazelhurst Avenue. The Scout House was donated to the Scouts back in 1917 by Eldridge Johnson for all the Liberty bonds that the boys sold back then. We continue to use this house for all activities for the Scouts. It's used virtually every day of the week for den meetings and troop meetings. And we have activities going on there with the Cub Scouts, from things like the Pinewood Derby and the Scout Fair, and all sorts of activities. With the Boy Scouts, they do learn about tying knots and learn all kinds of outdoor activities there. This film has no audio, so I will be doing a voiceover during the film. The film was made, like I say, back in sometime in the 50s or early 60s, so I'm not sure that whoever was making this film had audio equipment at that time.